We're taking a look at all the rep rewards for the Undermine cartels to help you decide which faction you want to focus on first. Don't worry if you change your mind. Every week, you're going to sign a 1 week contract with a cartel that you will be able to change at the beginning of the next weekly reset. So, the TLDR answer is to start with a faction that has the rewards that appeal to you the most. Starting with the Venture Quartermaster. And you will see a recurring theme with all the vendors. There's not too many rewards, but nonetheless, with all of them combined, there's a lot to obtain. The Venture Co. is down here in the southern part of the Undermine, just a little bit north of where it says the heaps. It's very easy to recognize building on the map. Let's take a look at the rewards. This is a theme that you will see with all of the reputation vendors. They're basically identical in the rewards, with the exception that the rewards are actually different. You'll understand here what I'm saying here in a second. So, firstly, we have the Venture Coast Trove, and at Honored, Revered, and Exalted, you're going to see these with each of the reputations. These boxes reward gold and resonance crystals. So our first reward here at Honored is the Ol Low and Slow. This is an item where it's going to give you an employee who will increase the time you have available during your time trials for your breakneck races. Next, we have the Venture Co. banner, and you'll see with all the other factions that this banner is something that each one of them is rewarding at Honored. Next, we have Rocket Fist, the Battle Pet. So he is a little mechanical monkey. He's got some dynamite sticks on his back, very dangerous, and those fists, I don't think I want to get hit by those things. So he's pretty crazy looking, cool little mohawk. And again, this one is at Honored. Excuse me, this one is at Revered. At Revered. Next, we have the Throw-In Saw Blade. This is a toy unique to the Venture Co. And actually, it's a toy similar to what we might have seen before. It's a saw blade that you can throw to a friendly player, and they will catch it and automatically return it. So we've seen similar toys with the footballs and the soccer balls in the past. This one does have a 5-second cooldown, however, so you're not going to be able to spam it in your buddy's face anymore. This is also at Revered. And we have our first exalted reward. This is the Ochre Delivery Rocket. And this is a recolor of the Love Rocket. But to be honest, I think this thing looks way cool. And I'm happy to see another cool goblin rocket mount in the game. Definitely going to be picking this up for myself. We have next at Exalted the Venture Co. Undermine Tabard. And it's this sort of greasy, oily brown color. Very Goblin, very Venture Co. There you go. And last, we have the Paint Job Yellow Cake Yellow. And of course, again, at Exalted. And this is a color option for your breakneck. So here we are with the Steamwheedle Quartermaster. And we are here in the southwestern part by the Vatworks, or rather at the Vatworks. Our first reward at Honored is the Maniacal Melodies. And this will employ a Steamwheedle employee to provide temporary cover to your breakneck. I guess maybe this is like a damage shield for your breakneck. There are world bosses out there in Undermine out in the open, as well as a bunch of mobs, and there's some elite mobs out in front of the Galagio. So maybe this will help with that. At Honored, our next reward is the Steamwheedle Cartel banner. Similar theme to what we see with the other factions. At Revered, we will earn EP. And EP is this adorable little hyena with armor and goggles on. The goggles are great. He looks super adorable and super awesome. Can't wait to get my hands on that guy. And next at at Revered, we have a very, very interesting toy. I think there's nothing like this in the game. So this is an everlasting noggin fogger elixir. And it says it costs 50 silver per gulp. So I imagine that this is going to give you the same effects as the noggin fogger elixir available for purchase in Tenaris. Um, I'm super curious. I imagine the cooldown is probably super short, maybe just a global cooldown. It's going to cost you 50 silver per gulp. I really want to see what the Blizzard data will be like in the future of how many people have chugged these things and how much silver, how much gold gets pulled out of the economy because of this item. Either way, I think this is great, and people are going to be using this all the time once they get their hands on it. And here we go. At Exalted is the Mean Green Flying Machine. This is a flying mount, yet again, but honestly, very cool, very goblin green. Looks similar to some mounts we've seen, I think, in Mechagon, and maybe similar to there was a secret flying mount in Dragonflight that people were running around with lightning orbs and stuff running through Valdrakken. But anyways, this thing looks pretty cool, and I'm excited to get this for myself. We have next at Exalted the Steamwheedle Undermine Tabard, and this is a very sort of mossy goblin, like a deep green. Actually matches my armor pretty much perfectly. Cool, very cool. Looks like a Naru almost. And lastly, we have the Paint Goblin Green. Pretty straightforward. So a green paint job for our breakneck. All right, we are at the Bilgewater Quartermaster, and he is located up here in the northwestern part of of Undermine. You can see it's right located just west of the Demolition Dome. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the rewards. Our first reward here is Lil Squeaker. Uh, Employ this Bilgewater employee who can slow enemies from the back of your breakneck. So it's kind of like a Mario Kart, sort of maybe like a oil slick or something like that. Very cool. That is at Honored Rep. And of course, another reward at Honored Rep is the Bilgewater Cartel banner. And then we have at Revered, our first reward at Revered, the Bilgewater Junk Hauler. Let's take a look at this. Pretty cool. It's a goblin. It's like a little mini battle pet goblin. Very cool looking. I like the teethy smile. I definitely dig the goggles, the helmet, honor. Pretty cool. Armor, pretty cool. And here we have at Revered a storefront in a box. Okay, on my server, there are people who use the dragon scale, or excuse me, the dragon flight expedition tents, and the that toy you can get out of Hollowfall, that table with the book. People use those all the time, so I totally expect that this is going to be a quite popular toy. And here we have at Exalted the Crimson Armored Growler. Oh, very cool. All right, so it's a hyena, and this guy looks great. I love it. I love the mohawk spike, the blade mohawk spike. Armor looks cool. Hyena looks cool. Fantastic. Great color of red. And of course, we have the Bilgewater Tabard, and very goblin looking tabard with the kind of the faded wear and tear on the sides, or on the edges. Very cool. And of course, the red paint job for the breakneck. And here we are at the Blackwater Quartermaster. She is located up here at the Blackwater Marina in the northeastern part in this building here. Very hard to miss. And so let's check it out. If you saw my previous video, I did an exclusive one about the Blackwater Quartermaster, but I figured that there was only so many rewards on these vendors that were just putting them all into one compilation. So here we go. Again, we have the Troves at Honored, Revered, and Exalted. And our first reward is the whole brass band. This is going to provide you with an emergency explode button on your breakneck. Could be interesting. Maybe you can kill some mobs with it. Who knows? Look forward to the booms. Next, we got the Blackwater Cartel banner at Honored. And our first reward at Revered is the Wave Breaker Mechasaur. This guy is so cool looking. I honestly think this is the coolest battle pet in all of Undermine compared to all the different factions. The hyena was super cool, but this one is by far the best one, without a shadow of a doubt. Again, that is at Revered. We have the personal fishing barge. I featured this again in my last video. We haven't actually seen it, but if you spend any time in Tenaris, or excuse me, in Thousand Needles after the Cataclysm rework of the zone, that you get a little barge that you get to float around in the water. It's super cool, and I'm kind of hoping that we get to that a similar thing with this barge instead of the Pandaria fishing raft. Pandaria or the Pandarian fishing raft. This one, I would love to have a barge instead. And here we have the Blackwater Shredder Deluxe MK2. And I think this is the best flying, or rather the best mount in all of the Bilgewater, or excuse me, all of the Goblin rep rewards. This is a ground exclusive mount, which is a bit strange to me, however. I definitely feel like this should be a flying mount. Blizzard, please. It is in goblin fashion. It's kind of a shredder, but we already have flying mounts similar to this in the game. So I would really like to see, some booster pack on the back, or maybe under the boots. I don't know, Blizzard, but this definitely needs to be a flying mount, guys. Regardless, the thing is really awesome looking. And then we have the Blackwater Undermine Tabard, and it's a sort of cloudy blue color. Very cool. And lastly, we have the Body Roll Blue paint job for your breakneck. So that's it for our Undermine Goblin faction rewards. If there is any updates to this, I will periodically check in and let you guys know. Thanks for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe, and share. See you in the next one.